Alrighty. Well, good evening, everyone, and welcome to our talk this evening. And for those I haven't met, my name is Rory McDermott, and it's my pleasure to be able to welcome you this evening. I'm just going to turn this little blade out of the way, if you don't mind. There we go. That's better. Okay, good. Fantastic. All right. Well, anyway, good evening. Now, tonight's talk it was designed for ambitious people who are looking for more out of life. And I suppose if you're on the talk tonight, that's basically what you're wanting. Nolan and I came across this business when we were very young, and we started it off as a part-time business. And it, over time, turned into a full-time career, which has given us so much joy. It's given us so much purpose in life. It's given us created wealth for us. So it's done a tremendous amount for us. So, we came across this business when we were young. And I think we were married 2 years, and we had just been in the corporate world. And then we had started our own business. And shortly into that journey, I met a man by the name of Horace who said to me one day after we'd finished working for him, he said, "You are a very ambitious young man." And I said, "Certainly I am." And he said, "Would you like to make some extra money?" And I said, "Sure." And he invited us down to see the business. Now, timing is everything. We were desperately looking for more income because we had just started a new business, and we'd seen the business before, but it wasn't the right time for us. But more importantly, we respected the man who actually invited us to see the business. And it was because he was involved. We thought, well, if it's good enough for him, it's good enough for us. So the company tonight is a company that we're going to talk about is called Neolife. Now, Neolife has an amazing business model, which you can hook into, and we'll be telling you more about this later on. But who is Neolife? Neolife it was founded by a man called Jerry Brasfield in 1958. That makes Neolife today 66 years old. That is important. Today, so often businesses come into business, promise the earth, and 2 years later, you look around and they're not present anymore. But Neolife has stood the test of time. It's been going for 66 years. It is now operating in over 50 countries around the world, and that makes it a very large international business that you can become part of. Now, Neolife is the difference between Neolife and, let's say, any other thing that I've come across in the market is Neolife is based in nature, but it's backed by science. Neolife produces products that are finest whole food, and they select it from the human food chain. We don't go finding funny ingredients around the world. We actually have our whole product range comes from the human food chain, and so the ingredients are good. Okay, so the product is researched tremendously. The product is pure. Only the finest ingredients are selected, and they're non-GMO products, right? They're potent. They will do exactly what they claim to do, and we have proof of that. And they are proven. There's clinical studies that are in many, many of the prestigious journals around the world, just talking about the research and development of Neolife. So it's a very, very well-tested company, which has stood the test of time. The Neolife offers you a long-term solution, and the whole goal of the Neolife range is to promote long-term health. How do you do that? By postponing age-related disease. And today we live in times where, there's so much disease around, and we'll talk more about that later on too, but it's really a business which has never been as, the timing has never been as good as it is now. But before we get into the talk, I just want to talk a little bit about you and your future. I believe every single human being has or wants or has dreams and goals to be a success. No one wants to be a failure. Let's face it. Everyone, you go to a tramp sitting on the side of the road, he would like to be successful, okay? But the reality of it all is that surveys show us that at 65 years old, 95% of people are either dead or dead broke or dependent on their family or dependent on a government or old age pension, which is not a very healthy way to to be. That means approximately 5% of people have achieved financial independence at 65. Now, that scared me. The night I came down to see the business, we were working as hard as we knew how. And when I heard the fact that only 5% of people create financial independence, I thought, gee, we've got to look at this very closely. I also believe that in life, there's no such thing as luck. Everything you have achieved so far in your life is a result of our thoughts, our commitments, our actions, and our habits. So we are where we are today because of those elements, okay, our past things. So the saying, the same old habits lead to the same results. Same old results. That's what we're up against. So I found in life it's the small little habits compounded daily that become remarkable results over time. Success doesn't just whang bam come through and you're successful. No, it takes these little daily habits over a period of time, sustained period of time, that creates the health that you're actually looking for. Okay, so something else I'd like to mention too. Neolife works. We don't mind how old you are. We don't mind what your education is. We don't mind what your experience in life is or your background in life is. We don't mind what the world economy is all about, because you create your own economy with the right mindset. And that's what we train on. So irrespective of the current world economy, which is very shaky, as we all know, you have to make a choice whether you want to thrive or survive. And I believe that Neolife will give you an opportunity to thrive and not just survive. All we look for, we don't look for your university degrees or anything like that. We look for one thing. Are you teachable? And are you prepared to adopt a few new habits? Are you prepared to get out of your comfort zone and, make an effort? And, I believe that the best kept secret of the rich is that time management is the best kept secret of the rich. That's what makes the difference between poor and wealthy people. Wealthy people find a way of duplicating time and duplicating effort through other people. And Neolife, I believe, has the most incredible system of time and effort duplication that I've come across. And as I mentioned, anyone can get into it without risk. Another great aspect of the Neolife business is, and it's unique to Neolife, Neolife is what I call a generational company. As I mentioned, we started in 1958. These businesses or networks have been developed and passed down generation to generation to generation. That is truly unique, because if you can build something that is going to outlast your life and be good for your kids and your family in the future, you have really built something of value. Now, it's my pleasure tonight to be able to introduce my next generation, my son, who we're very proud of. He'll give you his story and his background, but he's doing a brilliant job. And Druza, I'm going to ask you to come in and just explain the actual business concept in its totality to everyone. So thank you. Thanks for being with us, and over to Drew. Thank you, Druza.
Oh, thank you, Pops. Good evening, everybody. You so beautifully set up this Neolife company for the guests on the call. If I'm meeting you for the first time, good evening. My name is Drew. I'm currently sitting up in Johannesburg. I live in Durban, working with our team up in Joburg. And yeah, I was resonating with so much of what Rory was saying on that call in his intro. I've been part of Neolife my entire life. Rory and Nola celebrate 50 years as Neolife distributors this year. And so when we say it's a generational opportunity, that's something that I love, because I realized my job that I had, and I'll share my story with you in a moment, wasn't something that I could hand down to my children one day. And I really do believe in generational wealth. It's real. So I grew up with this Neolife opportunity, and one of the greatest things it's done for our family, it's given us 3 generations of magnificent health. I've got 3 kids. They are 3rd generation on Neolife Nutrition, and I just think that it's something super special that we are in control of, and that's a gift that you can give to your family. I've seen where this opportunity took my family from where we were as a kid to where we are today. Financially, it's changed our family's future for generations to come. But I haven't always been a near life distributor. I was taught, like most of you on the call, to get educated, fantastic, and get a good job. And I spent the first 13 years of my working life living in London, working in the investment banking industry. And from the outside, it looked like a great career, but on the inside, it was a life of quite desperation at best. And Rory mentioned, we are a product of our past. And whether it's your relationships, your health, your bank balance, those are a sum total of what you have done in the past. And when I realized for things to change, I had to change what I was doing. And sure, the years would tick on where I was hoping for change, but it was only really when I came to that realization, the reality that for my situation to change, for me to get out of banking, for me to have more time, for me to do all these things, and not only make an income, but also live a life of purpose, I actually had to change what I did on a day-to-day basis. And that's when I took a serious look at Neolife. I knew it worked. I just didn't know if it could work for me. But what really attracted me was the power of part-time. And so if you're a guest on the call tonight, I really want you to hang on to that, because for me, I had an income. I wasn't broke. I wasn't destitute. I had an income, but I wanted more. But at the same time, I needed that income because it paid my bills. And so I'd work full-time on my job, Monday to Friday, and part-time, like in the evenings, like we're doing now, and on weekends, I would build my future. And it took just nearly 2 years of working hard before I replaced that income and I could move full-time into Neolife. And so I share that story with you for two reasons. One, if you're on the call because you want things to change in your life, I really believe you need to take a closer look at Neolife and get involved. And two, if it worked for Rory, if it worked for me, it can work for you. And I want you to truly believe that. And so I'm going to share some slides with you. And I'm going to dial in over the next little while on two trends that we build our business around. As a company, we're operating in over 50 countries around the world, and we are on a mission to make this world a healthier and a happier place. And that sounds a nice, fluffy mission statement, but it essentially comes down to two trends. And it doesn't matter what business you're in. When you're in business, you've got to be solving people's problems. Okay. And these two trends that are affecting a lot of people around the world. And these are the two trends that we build our business around. The first trend is the trend of poor health. And the second trend is a trend of financial stress. And so I'll dial the presentation in around those two things. And if we have a look at what is going on in the world, we have more science, more technology, more pharmaceutical medication. Oh, it's a video. I don't want that. That's what I want. Let me just sort my screen out here. Yet people are sicker today than ever before. And this is just a general rule of thumb. We live for 70, 80, 100 years, whatever it is, and we're living life in three zones. The first 30 years of our life, approximately, are lived in this energetic zone. The next 30 years of our life, we bumble through this tired zone. And the final 30 years of our life, we kind of expected to live in the sick zone. And to prove that, it's not uncommon to see people in their 60s, 70s, 80s that aren't on chronic medication. We look at that and go, that's depressing. We know life is so much better when you have your health, when you have your vitality. For most people, they work their entire life to live out their golden years, and very often their golden years are lived in various stages of sickness. We all know people like that, or they spend everything they've accumulated just to try and stay alive. And we believe there is such a thing as living life in this energetic zone, and there is such a thing as dying relatively healthy without having months or years of sickness and illness and struggle. So yes, we have a lot of people that come to us in this zone and they turn to nutrition because they've hit a brick wall. I'm not a doctor, I'm not a scientist, so I won't focus on curing people. I really believe in the power of prevention. Prevention is better every day of the week. And if we are truly going to achieve our mission of making this world a healthier place, we're not going to achieve it by helping all the sick people become well again. Sure, we can help many, but we really get excited by helping healthy people stay well. And so for most people that we interact with that are, 25, 30 and beyond, they are operating in this tired zone. You're not sick. You are just maybe not, you don't have as much energy as you used to have. Maybe you're living life with a little bit more stress, financial stress, family stress, career stress. Maybe you're not eating as well as you could be. Maybe you're not as active as you should be. And it's often in this part of our lives, period of our lives, we get these little warning signs. Look out for your blood pressure. Your cholesterol's a little bit high. Your blood sugar levels are a little bit erratic. You wake up more tired than when you went to bed. You're fatigued. And that's just precursors to the journey that you're on. And so we believe that, I'll talk about a product in a moment, which is an amazing product, but we really believe that we have been blessed with incredible bodies. The Lord has blessed us with incredible bodies that are designed to heal themselves, renew themselves, protect themselves, designed to live with health and vitality and energy. But over the last number of decades and the last little while, we've kind of lost sight of that. And because of our food processing, because of modern day lifestyles and diets, we are not feeding our bodies the tools or the nutrients they need to live with that health and vitality. And so just to sum it up, our diet should look something like this. Our diet this isn't Neolife, this is the latest nutritional science. Our diet should consist mainly of whole grain foods and whole grain oils, followed by fruits and vegetables, followed by proteins, and fats and sugars should be consumed the least. What we have done is we've just turned that upside down. It's not your fault, but because of modern day food processing and availability, this is the reality. We are eating too many fats and sugars. Our quality of protein is not great. We're not eating enough fruit and vegetables, and whole grain oils are, specifically whole grain oils are deficient. And so what is going on is our bodies are made up of trillions of tiny little cells. At conception, a single cell splits into two. Two cells make four make eight make 16. That is, our bodies, a bunch of cells stuck together. Okay. And so that little saying, we are only as healthy as our cells, is absolutely correct. And every one of our cells has a little membrane. And this membrane consists of oils, which we get from whole grain foods. Now, remember, whole grain foods have been a staple of the human food chain since the very beginning. So we eat grain foods, those grain oils are absorbed and they live in the cell membrane, and they keep the cell membrane soft, permeable, healthy. And so the nutrients from the food that you're eating in your diet can permeate into that cell membrane. Those nutrients are converted into energy so that cell can do what it has to do, and toxins are produced. And those toxins are eliminated from that cell. That is what we call cellular nutrition. Now, what is happening is we are not getting enough of these grain oils in our diet. They are processed out of our foods. Think of a loaf of bread. A loaf of bread, if you're my age, you'll remember a loaf of bread would go moldy within a couple of days as a kid. Bread doesn't go moldy anymore. It goes hard, it doesn't go moldy. A bag of rice, that's a whole grain food. It should be going rancid. It can sit in your grocery cupboard for months. Why? Because the food companies are milling all these grain oils out of our grain foods, and they do this to prolong the shelf life of our grain foods. Okay. So what's happening is our bodies are saying, no problem. Our diets are abundant in other fats, which are bad fats that we find in our processed foods and other foods we eat. And so we have a lot of these bad fats that are now absorbed and live in the cell membrane. And these bad fats solidify and make that cell membrane hard and impermeable. Okay, what is a bad fat? Not all meats, but if you cooked a piece of meat in a pan and you left that pan out overnight, what happens to that fat? It solidifies, it congeals, it goes white, it goes hard. That's a bad fat. Okay, and exactly the same thing is happening in our cell membranes. And so the nutrients from the food you're eating are not effectively getting through that cell membrane. And the toxins that are being produced within that cell are not being eliminated from that cell membrane. And so that cell becomes sluggish, it becomes tired. Okay, and I'll just go back to this little illustration. That cell, your cells are no longer getting the nutrients that they need, and they're not getting rid of the toxins. And so they are not performing like they should. And so if enough of your cells are in that state, you're going to feel tired. But as those toxins build up and build up, eventually that cell will move from a tired cell and a fatigue cell to a sick cell. One sick cell will make another sick cell. Your cells are multiplying and replicating all the time. And 2 sick cells will make 4 will make 8, and that could transpire into something a little bit more sinister. So we really put a big emphasis and focus on cellular nutrition. Okay. And so I'm just going to talk about one product tonight, and that is TreaNN. TreaNN is the world's first and only whole grain oil supplement. Okay, and there's no other company on the planet that makes TreaNN. To make this bottle of 120 capsules, we use 58 kilograms of raw organic grain foods. Those grain foods, we extract these grain oils in a nitrogen environment and we put it into a capsule. And so what is important with all of our nutritional products, we are whole food. Okay, so our products are not synthetically made, they are taken from whole food. And so that's where our philosophy comes from, based in nature, backed by science. And so what will this product do? This product will take 2 to 3 capsules a day. Some people take 1, it doesn't matter. So 1 to 3 a day. And the first thing it does, it will increase your nutrient utilization by 50%, okay, from the diet that you eat. So immediately it's going to give you energy because your cell membranes are now effectively absorbing the nutrients into the cells. So those nutrients are being converted into energy. And it will help you eliminate toxins. And so your cells start working efficiently. And the first byproduct is you start feeling energized. Okay, so many people call this our energy supplement. It will also more than double your glandular activity. Your glandular activity is your hormonal activity. And there's so many hormonal mediated health challenges going on in the world. You really want your hormones just to be balanced and get your glandular activity functioning to its maximum ability. And TreaNN will help you do that. There's so many stories that come out of this product, but when you get your cells working correctly, there's so many other positive knock-on effects. And one of the key ones is your immunity. When you're eating food and your body's effectively utilizing the nutrition and the nutrients from the food you're eating, that's going to have an effect on your immunity and so many other factors. So we really do focus on the key. I call this a non-negotiable, the whole grain oil supplement, because you can be eating as well as you possibly can, but if your cell membranes are not in good shape, you are eliminating so much of the good nutrition. Then we also have a fruit and vegetable supplement, which is a complete carotenoid supplement that targets immunity, and that has been scientifically proven to boost the human immune function by 37% in 20 days. We are the only company that produces a complete 22 amino acid protein meal replacement. We are the only company that has an omega-3 with all 8 omega-3 molecules that make up omega-3, that is cold pressed, that is from, you see that little hand thumb up. How did that work? I don't know if you saw that. That's a new Zoom feature. We have omega-3 that is cold pressed. It comes from tuna, mackerel, salmon, anchovy, all fresh, all free, nothing farmed. And we test for over 200 contaminants, and we're the only omega-3 supplement on the market that has all 8 omega-3 molecules. So we could talk about nutrition all the time, but I just wanted to, for the whole night, but I just wanted to dial in to TreaNN, because TreaNN is, I'm going to build the business concept around this one product. How can you build a $1 million business with one product? Okay, so improves your nutrient utilization efficiency, increase your energy, supports your cellular health, and enhances your vitality. So the other trend, that's how we're going to end the trend of poor health. The other trend we focus in on is the trend of financial stress. And I travel around the country most weeks, and I believe there's more financial stress in South Africa today than there is physical health stress. People are just not making enough money. And that's for a number of reasons. Our unemployment rate is horrendous in this country, specifically in the younger generation that are finishing schools and universities. They step into a world full of hope with goals and dreams, and most of them end up unemployed, 61% odd. Most middle income South Africans, so those that have jobs that are supposedly doing okay, spend virtually the entire monthly income in 5 days or less after receiving it. Like that's a stat from FNB Bank. So after 5 days of getting paid, most of them have spent all their money. That's a scary fact. They're not making enough money. This was something I said a couple of weeks ago. Just a 10-year span, the average income grew by, on average, 32%, and the cost of a entry-level BMW grew by 148%. And they just used the BMW because that relates actually to your food, to the cost of your fuel, to the cost of your kids' school fees. So the cost of living has gone up significantly. And the reality is, for most households and most people, their income is not growing in proportionately. And so people are kind of sliding backwards into debt, or they have to be degrading their lifestyles, which nobody wants to do anyway. And so the old rule of get a good, safe, and secure job is old school. You know, most people do have a side hustle. Most people do have more than one stream of income. And I just think Neolife is a great way to achieve that. I believe entrepreneurship is the challenge, or is the answer to this challenge, this financial challenge. You've probably heard the saying, you can give a man a fish, he eats for a day, or you can teach him how to fish. And that's what entrepreneurship is all about, is teaching people how to create an income that they are in control of, that nobody can take away from them, that they control the amount that they make or don't make. It's resistant to economic factors. But there is a challenge with entrepreneurship. It's risky. We all know people that have started businesses that have gone nowhere, that have failed. On average, it's costing South Africans about 750,000 Rand to survive the first year in a new business. The sad thing is that immediately takes entrepreneurship off the table for most South Africans, just the startup costs to a business. And so, you know, we have a goal to empower people into business for themselves, but not by themselves, at a low point of entry. So there's no financial risk to starting a Neolife business. And we're part of the network marketing industry. It's an industry that I have grown to really love. Currently, we have approximately $192 billion global industry. So it's significant. I just want to give you guys a bigger picture. That's bigger than Hollywood. That's bigger than the European Football League. There's approximately 118 million active distributors who are getting paid over $200 million in commissions daily in our industry. And the exciting thing for people on this call from around Africa is 43% of sales are coming from emerging markets like Africa. People who are opportunity hungry, people who know they cannot rely on the government for the income or for the security, and they are willing to take control of it themselves. And so that positions Neolife very, very well. If you're on this call and you want to improve your health, get onto TrainN, get onto our products and achieve magnificent health. If you're on the call because you want to start a side hustle, you have a need to make an additional income. And you know, that means so many different things for some people. When I say extra money to some people, they are just thinking of making ends meet at the end of the month. Some of them are just thinking about taking the stress out of paying school fees. Some of them are thinking about having a better lifestyle and traveling more or driving a better car. You've got to take on board what that means to you. But if you have a need for additional income, what I recommend you do is link up as a Neolife distributor. You don't work for Neolife, they are your business partner, and they provide you with your toolkit, or I like to call it your business in the box. Neolife has a very specific job. Their job is to research, develop, and manufacture products that work. And one of the key reasons why we have been in business for 66 odd years is because our products work. Our products are consumable. People love our products. They feel the difference on our products. If we didn't have products that worked, we would not have survived in business this long. The other role is to provide us with technology. We're living in this modern day world where people are building the business from their cell phones. I've just got off a call with East Africa before this call, and it was all done through my cell phone. So Neolife provides you with the websites, with the technology that can help you build a business in the modern day environment that we find ourselves in. They provide you with mentorship, training, development. So they basically provide you with marketing materials, with videos, with a lot of things. They take the legwork out of entrepreneurship. Okay, and they take care of their job very, very well, and they pay you at the end of the month. So put that to one side. now we talk about you. And I get very strong on this because we don't beat around the bush. It takes work. There is a job for you to do. And we will never say to people, join this business and watch the money roll in. Join the business and do the work and you will make money. That's what I can promise you. But it does involve work. And I know there are many businesses out there that promise to get rich quick. We're not one of those. If that's what you're looking for, then we're not for you. But your job is simple. Anybody can do it. The first thing we want you to do is, number one, we want you to use the product and find customers. That is your first job. And we've got this incredible product range where we have this eco-friendly, cost-effective home care range. If you clean your home, get on, support your own business, use the home care products. We've got this kids nutrition range. If you've got kids, start using the kiddies range. Start using the nutrition on yourself. We've got the most amazing end-to-end organic skincare range, from face cleansers to moisturizing creams to eye creams, eye gels to rejuvenating creams to shampoos. Near life your home. Start using the product in your home. But in this example, I'm just going to keep it super simple, and I'm going to talk about one product, because I don't want you to become a product expert before you start making money. I want you to master this one product so you can start making an income immediately. And that product's going to be TreeNN, because it works and it's got an incredible story. And so we want you to use the product, and then I want you to go out and find 6 customers. And so that's why I've got a picture of 6 bottles of TreeNN, and each bottle of TreeNN is worth 17 points. Okay, because we're a global business, and in every country there are different currencies. We use a standard currency called points, or PV. So a bottle of TreeNN is 17 points in South Africa. If you go to America, it's X amount of dollars, but it's still 17 points. Okay, so go and find 6 people who need TreeNN in their lives. And once you understand the TreeNN story, which we'll teach you, we can teach you pretty effectively, you will very quickly be able to find 6 TreeNN customers. And why 6? Because we want you to do 100 points every single month. So 17 times 6 gives you 102 points. I'm going to round it off to 100 points. Okay. So every month we want you to do 100 points. And next month, guess what? Your 6 customers are going to need another bottle of TreeNN. It's a consumable product. So don't let a month go by where you do less than 100 points. Very important. And in this example, you're going to make 370 Rand profit, because you have found 6 customers and you're going to make some retail profit. Not a lot of money, but I want you to be profitable. You're in business. And why do we get into business? We get into business to be profitable. Let's be honest with each other. And how long should it take you to find 6 customers? I recommend you go and do it in 48 hours to 1 week maximum. So you're profitable immediately. Step number 2, we want you to start building a team. And what does that look like? In this example, I'm going to say go out and find 6 people, 6 other people that say to you, I want to make an extra income. I need a side hustle. I've got goals. I've got dreams. I've got financial challenges I need to overcome. If you don't know 6 people who need to make extra money, go and find 6 people. They're easy to find because they're out there. And you simply teach them to duplicate the system. You don't teach them to do anything magical. You get them to duplicate a simple system, which is to use the product and to find their 6 customers. Okay, and we've got these amazing TreeNN videos that you can share to help you find these 6 customers. And so they each do 100 points just like you. Now, I want to set your expectations. How many people will you need to talk to find your 6 distributors? Maybe 10, maybe 20, maybe 30. I don't know. But do whatever it takes. And so your business now does 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 plus your 100, that's 700 points. So now you make your retail profit of 370 Rand, plus you're going to make some sales volume bonus because you have a volume of over 500 points. And so you're going to make a bonus and profit of about 800 Rand. Great. Not a lot of money, but I really want you to, our expectations are that you get out and do this within the first month. So you're profitable. Some people do it in a week. Step 3, duplicate this process. Work with your 6 distributors and teach them how to find their 6 distributors. And so they each are doing 700 points just like you a month. You have taught them how to make an extra 800 to 1,000 Rand a month. So they're also profitable. But now your business is doing over 4,000 points. How does that work? 700, 14, 21, 28, 35, 42. 4,200 points, okay, over 4,000 points worth of business. You are now a Near Life director. As a Near Life director, you will make, over and above any retail profit, you'll make 10,900 Rand in this example. Okay. How long should that take you? I'll set you an expectation of about 6 months. And I'd really get excited about that. For most people, to start a side hustle that can make you an extra, call it 11,000 Rand a month within the first 6 months and sustainably make that every single month is an exciting side hustle. How do you scale it up from here? Very simple. Now that you're a director, you know how to teach your team how to become directors. So in this example, what happens if you teach 3 of your 6 to become directors? So you know the little saying, if you help enough other people get what they want, you will get what you want. So you've helped 3 other people earn extra 10,000, 11,000 Rand per month. You'll step up onto our world team. And as a world team member, you'll make yourself an extra 20 to 40,000 Rand per month through your Near Life side hustle. As a Near Life world team member, we're taking 500 of our world team members with us to Mauritius in May. Last year, we took just under 500 people to Istanbul, Turkey. So you get to travel with us and have a real 5-star lifestyle vacation once a year. What happens if you went and found 6 directors? You'd step up onto our world team, our president's team. And as a president's team member, your starting income is 100,000 Rand per month. And it can grow a lot bigger than that. How do you grow it? You create more directors. And so that is why I believe we are so well positioned for exponential growth in Africa right now, is because we have this massive trend of poor health, and we have the products that address that trend. We have this growing trend of, I love this feature, of financial stress that is really affecting so many homes, and people are going to bed at night stressed and they stay awake because they either have goals and their dreams that they're excited about, or they have a future that they are fearful of. And here we have the solution: a Near Life distributorship, a Near Life side hustle. And as a president's team member, you travel twice a year with us. You'd be coming with us to Mauritius in May. In October, we have the most amazing 5-star diamond lifestyle trip planned to Paris, where Rory and Nola and other president's team members will be joining us. But it's a simple concept. And I think that is the key here, is anybody can do it. We have incredible people like Dr. Barry Bland, who's a specialist anesthetist, who might even be on this call, who has succeeded incredibly in this business. And then we have this couple, Jake and Elizabeth, who never ever finished school. They never actually got to high school. Yet they are in our top 5 earners in our business in this country, because our business is simple and duplicatable. Use the product and find and build a customer base. Duplicate that. Find other distributors who do that and become a director. That is the simplicity of our business. To get started, we keep it super simple. There are 4 options. Every option you choose comes with your full starter kit, which is your website, your training materials. You plug into our mentorship programs. You get your resource library. But the 4 options each come with a different product offering. And the offering which I believe is best is this Train-In 6-pack, because it fits in with the business model I just shared with you. In your business kit, you get 6 bottles of Train-In. So you immediately start on over 100 points. Okay, so you tick that first box, and that's for a price of 1,880 Rand. Okay, so you got a complete business in a box plus system for under 2,000 Rand. And some people, that's out of budget. That's okay. Then I suggest that they step it down to the Train-In 2-pack program, which is 880 Rand. So that is the very simple way to get started. So to our guests on the call, I'm going to hand this over to you. I don't know where you're at, but if you're looking for better health, get in touch with the person who got you onto the call and get them to share the products with you. Become a customer. And I can promise you, it will be one of the greatest things that you do for yourself and your family. if you're on this call and you've got, yeah, I could do with an opportunity for whatever reason, then I'm going to say, take that step of faith. What is faith? Faith is believing in something that you have not yet seen. You might be a little bit skeptical. That's okay. For things to change, you have got to change. Get your questions answered, make an informed decision, and take action. And put one foot in front of the other. Take it seriously. Get committed. And often people say, Drew, I'm all in. I want to get started, but I'm just going to think about it. They think about it. They think about it. They forget about it. Nothing happens. Or they say, Drew, I can't sell. Yeah, and that was my sticking point. I worked in banking. I sat behind a computer screen all day, and it's not about selling. It really isn't. It's about finding people who have a need for your product. Really, it's a skill that we can teach you and you can develop. People say, Drew, I don't have the money to join. I need this, I want this, but I don't have the money. And I spoke to somebody who had that situation today. And I got strong with him. I said, if you don't have the money to join right now, you need this opportunity more than you know. Go out and sell something. Do you have a TV sitting around? Maybe building a business part-time is more important than the TV that you watch. Sell that TV. Do you have an old bicycle sitting in your garage that you can sell? Find some dead capital and sell it, or go and borrow the money from somebody, because then you are really committed to start making profits so you can pay them back as soon as possible. But get creative. That's entrepreneurship, is solving challenges that come before you. So guys, I want to thank you for your time this evening. If you are a guest on the call and you decide to get started, or if you've just got started today, then please make sure that your sponsor reaches out to me or Rory. I'd love to send you some Near Life merch, a little branded cap or something with your started kit, just to say well done for making the decision. So Pops, thanks for having me on the call. I appreciate it.
Drew, well, thank you for explaining that so brilliantly to everyone. And for those of you who are looking at it for the first time, have the courage to try. You've got nothing to lose by trying this business. And over the next 4 or 5 years, whatever it's going to take, go out and create the lifestyle that you dream of, because this is the greatest opportunity available to you at this point in time. So thank you all for joining us. Drew, thanks for your help. Good night.